Hi guys and welcome back to our channel Sharang and Sharvari. So in this video it's just going to be me today because today I'm going to be bringing to the table a slightly girly topic, and I personally think that of course Sharang encourages me to make my own content, such as he has interest in things like history, science, and you can see him making content on that, but my interests are kind of just having informal chats or educating people, skincare, beauty, and wellness sort of things. So today I decided to pursue one of my interests and make a video on the same. Of course, you guys might have read the title, and I know it says girl talk, but it's really not. It's general talk, I would say. But the problem that I went through or people go through in female friendships is something that I would want to highlight in this video, which is why I've named it as girl talk. But of course, anyone like of any gender can watch it because it is super, super relevant to you, and you might have even gone through it at some point. So today we are going to be breaking down on friendships. Now, as a twenties something person, I personally think that your friendships really have a big part to play in who you are as a person. And in my case, definitely, I've had my share of good experiences. I've had my share of bad experiences as well. As we all know, it is just the process of growing up, and that is why it is very, very important to make good friends and especially take efforts to cherish those friendships. I'll be sharing a few stories from my life because I think I've really been honest here on this page. And I'd really like to share a few experiences, of course, without taking any names, to kind of highlight what are the major issues that happen in female friendships and how to combat it or how to not get into that loop. Things that went wrong so that my story can maybe give you a teaching to, what exactly can you do in case of forming good and healthy bonds when it comes to friendship. So here I would like to speak a bit openly on my school life. And I would say that my school life, I did not have a lot of friends growing up. I was a very shy and introverted kid, and it was hard for me to make new friends. It wasn't like I was, hard to be around, or I didn't, have the things that people really needed to form good friendship bonds. But the issue was such that as people might know in the subscriber list, that I grew up in the US for a bit, and then my family shifted to India because my dad got a job here and he started doing his own thing. So when I was in the third grade, we shifted back to India from the USA, and it was a big transition for me in my life. That is why this transition brought about a lot of turmoil, because suddenly you uproot the entire life of a person living in the US, and then this person does a whole shift to a new country where everything is new, like the culture, the food, and you have a lot of people here. In the US, we didn't have a lot of people near our place. So it definitely creates a big impact on how you form friendships with other people. And in my case, something similar happened because it was hard for me to form friendships as a third grader who had just returned from the US. There were people who made fun of my accent because I had that newly picked up accent in the US. There were people who thought I was too entitled. Of course, I didn't understand all of these things growing up as a child. But today, as an adult, when I go back and I revisit those times, I really see that okay, that is what happened that time. And people would not become friends with me because they thought that I was from a different country. I didn't know what it is to be Indian. And I struggled a bit with that. Soon I started to slowly fit in. But I would say that my school environment was not that conducive to kind of cherish good friendships. And I know that many people go through bullying as a child, and it is pretty, pretty traumatic to go through. So, I myself, due to the same reason, I would say bullying is a very heavy word to use, and I fortunately did not go through that experience. But there were kids who used to tease me, pick on me, and used to make me the center of trouble. And that also kind of took a toll on me. So here I understood, that, or my mind learned to kind of accept the love that I think I deserve. And here is the first lesson that I want to give all of you guys. You are meant for so much more. And it is so unfortunate if you have been a victim of bullying, or you're going through it, or you've gone through it in your past. So I'm so sorry if you went through that, and nobody should ever go through that or resort someone to that. So you somewhere tend to think that this is the love that I accept and this is the only love that I'm going to get in the form of friendships. And you start treating, letting people trample all over you and walk all over you. They think they have a right to kind of control you and control your actions and what you should do. And something similar happened through my school years in this period. I somewhere started to think that if I did not resort to what people say, they would leave me. I would not have any friends. I would be left friendless. I would not have anyone to sit with at lunch. And that is why I started shrinking myself in order to make others fit. This is the second lesson I want to give you guys. You are not meant to make yourself small. If people are meant to be with you, let them reach your level. And this is exactly as I mentioned what went wrong in my case. I used to think that, okay, I really need to cherish and preserve friendships. And that is why I'm ready to do anything for these people. There were many instances that happened in my childhood. Of course, I won't be taking names of those people here. I'm sure all these people have now grown up and they're better people indeed. But um, at that time, it was a very bad thing that they did to me, or if they have done the same thing to other people. And I remember that there was a friend of mine that I had in school, and she once like they were mean to me on purpose, and they used to exclude me from outings. They used to not include me in events that they used to go to. Once I remember a really bad thing happened to me was that I got called to a place, and my friends told me we're meeting there at this, and they made me wait for 1 hour in the sun. And actually, the time that was decided was way later. It was not at 4, it was at 5. And it was not a simple misunderstanding because I later got to know that it was pre-planned because I saw something. So yeah, pretty unfortunate things have happened. And I think this is the first time I'm coming out here and saying all of this candidly because you guys might have gone through something similar or on these sorts in your school experiences. At that time, these things really create a big impact on your head. And in my case, it definitely did. Because, of course, as you go ahead in life, you are going to meet a lot of people. There are going to be friends with whom you attend college, there are going to be friends with whom you work, and you create all of these new circles and bonds. But the way that you deal with these people still remains the same. So, that is an issue where, it needs fixing. It was very later in life. And I will be very honest here. I would say this was just about 2 years ago when I realized that people pleasing is not the solution to retaining friendships. It is not. We think it is. We think that people are going to get offended by something that we said, or something that we said did not fly with them, did not work with them, and that's why they'll leave us. You know what? If they leave you, and I want everyone to listen to this very, very carefully. If they leave you, they weren't meant for you in the first place. It is a very tough pill to swallow, but once you master it, your mental health will improve such drastically. And this exact same thing happened with me. I had this moment of revelation that, okay, this is not the way that things are going to go in my adulthood life. And since I'm meeting friends and making new acquaintances from different areas, I decide how I want to be treated. And nobody else makes that decision for me. And I think this was a very, very big stepping stone in how I, grew up. And I must compliment Sharang here for sure. Sharang is a person who is very straightforward. He has his boundaries set and he knows how to, kind of set that baritone to allow others access to him in a more refined way. And um, he does not take anything that is not for him. And that is something I really admire about Sharang. He has a lot of, self-respect. And I think that is one place where I really lack, although now I'm much better. So I had a lot of these toxic friends around me. There were people who used me for a lot of things. They were like, things like college assignments or stuff like sometimes money. And at that time, it really did not matter. But when I look back at things, it definitely creates a big difference in how my friendships were shaped. And when I had that revelation, it really, really changed my life. Today, I'm proud to say that I have the motto quality over quantity. I used to get really jealous of people who had these big groups. They're always going out on trips or parties or things like that. But then I realized that in the bigger picture, even if you have 3 or 4 friends who will call you, who will, check up on you, will make sure you're fine, those are the gems of your life that you have to keep. And I'm so happy that I have at least 6 to 7 such people whom I can call up anytime. Even when I got married, all of these people were on their toes. They were really helping my parents with the wedding. They were so supportive in all of this. So that is the time that I realized that, all those experiences I went through meant that I had to learn this. And that is why I today could get these amazing gems from the jewel mine, I would say, in my life, and that has really really helped me. So right now you might be at a point, if you're watching this video, might be friendless, you might be feeling very lonely in your life, you might be at a point where you don't know what to do. But I'll tell you, take it from someone like me who felt the exact same thing that you guys might be feeling. It definitely gets better. And you need to define your friendships. You need to eliminate toxicity. You need to set strong boundaries. Otherwise, people are going to trample over you and your life will not have any meaning. Trust me and take it from me. This is something I wanted to say, guys, and I'm so glad that you took the time out from your busy schedule to watch this video. This is a message that I think any college-going person or anyone in their, adulthood phase, figuring life, navigating friendships. So, this might be a good watch for all of you. Of course, you can recommend if you want me to continue the Girl Talk series on different topics such as career, girl things, beauty products, skincare, and I'm interested in all of those, and I'll definitely make it a point to get your suggestion. Sharon also had a great part in encouraging me to make this video, so a big thanks to him as well. Of course, in the next video, you'll see the both of our faces together since we'll be bringing back good content again. So I want you guys to stay tuned. Make sure you also like, share, and subscribe to our channel Sharang and Sharvari on YouTube. We post every Wednesday and Saturday, so make sure you have the dates marked on your calendar and you press the bell icon so that you don't miss a video from our channel. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm glad that I have this, space so that I can share all of these experiences with you. And thank you so much for being a part of my audience today. Thank you, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.